Hello, Internet. Welcome to another edition of Eric's Corner with the Word of the Not So Wise. Thank you for joining me on a Saturday night here. Figure I'd get a quick rant off my chest as usual. Today I'm going to go over military stuff, which this is going to be highly controversial and so on and so forth. And I'm going to say a lot of things a lot of people aren't going to like, including some people that I really like. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of gaps in military protocol. You know, they've tried so hard to make it a little more family-friendly environment. Oh, well, how do we keep the divorce rate and the infidelity rate down and blah, 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 and how do we stop attracting these bar whores that just want free BAH and medical insurance? So I have a lot of solutions. I talked to Command Master Chief Stedding. He was the CMC of the Abraham Lincoln for half-ish of the time I was stationed there. And I went and had a nice chat with him, and he basically assured me all of my concerns were basically bullshit and not that big of a deal. So this is one of those things that's exponential. One small problem and another small problem and another small problem and another small problem adds up to a very big problem. It's 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 35. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 900 something. So basically, oh, well, that's not that big of a problem. Oh, that's not that big of a problem. I think I know for a fact the military has become a social justice institution where it's there to provide job opportunity and college money for impoverished inner city youth. I mean that's a lot of demographics are from an inner city. I'm not pointing out one group of people, but CMC Stedding, and yes, I'm totally calling you out, and I hope this somehow reaches you and you need to come on my show and defend your position. He's got to be retired now, but he's like, well, the Navy was here long before we were here, and it'll be here long after we're gone. Well, really? Aren't you guys having a recruiting crisis right now? I would absolutely encourage my sons to not have anything to do with the military. I mean, if they really feel like they need to join and that's what they got to do as a man, by all means, I go do it. But I don't believe in the cause, and I don't believe in any of it that they got going on. Again, I didn't join to do the basic. I joined to be a SEAL. I went to SEAL school. I gave it a shot. Fuck you. You didn't even try. So, failing at the hardest thing you can find is still kind of, at least I gave it a shot. So there's 24, I think, military ranks, E1 through O10. O10 would be a fleet admiral, which they only have in times of war, which pretty sure we've been there for a while. Basically, E1 through E4 / E5, E4 and a half are doing pretty much all the footwork. The rest of it's admin. You don't see a problem with that. I mean, Jesus criminy. Like, once you hit E5, you're pretty much a supervisor. And then the E6s supervise the E5s and so on and so forth, which is absolutely ridiculous. When I was on shore duty, the chiefs were like, good God, stay in, we need you, like, you're shit hot. And I talked shit the whole time. I was a pain in the ass, but I was very well liked. I'm not jumping up my own ass here, but I got shouts out during the meetings all the time. Why is Johnson the only one here doing any work? Why is he running circles around you guys? And I was running at like 25%. Like, I was working, I work hard because I take pride in my work and I like to work hard and do stuff. Okay, cool. But I'm just like, how on earth am I like working so much harder than everybody else? I mean, nothing gets done. They have, again, calling you out, they have rigged and they are tampering with advancement exams. They will straight up tell you, well, we're going to throw out old questions. Well, and people from other branches have noticed, and I pointed this out to people, and they're just like, dude, you're out of your mind. But then they came to me later and like, since you mentioned it, it's starting to make sense. So the advancement exam, if you look at the demographics and you say, hey, how did this group of people do versus this other group of people? Hey, let's see how the women did in the mechanical portion. Well, they did terribly, so let's throw their questions away. If there's 100 questions on a test, I'm using very basic, stupid numbers here, but if there's 100 questions on a test and say, I get the first 25 wrong and you get the last 25 wrong, let's just say. Okay, we both got 75%. Well, if you throw the wrong questions away of somebody, their score now goes to 100%, and the other guy's score now drops to 66%. Right? You threw away their wrong answers, so now all of their questions are now right, and that's 100%. So, I mean, that's what they're doing. I can't prove it, but, I mean, I can prove it because, like I said, I talked to Command Master Chief Stedding, and he said, so I was like, you need to fix your standard. You need to raise the standard. Again, this is that a lot of little problems adding up to big problems. You take care of the small things, the big things will fall into place. I said, raise your standard. This is unacceptable. This crew can't save your ship. It's been too long since the Cole was bombed, since Pearl Harbor. It's been too long. And he's like, well, if we start leapfrogging people like that, because I said, hey, people need to compete for their position like I did to go to SEAL training. People need to compete for their position. He said, well, we can't do that because the public is going to wonder why we aren't enlisting enough black kids. I wish I had that on video. He will never admit that he said it. So the demographic that overwhelmingly does better physically than any other, I mean, they dominate the NFL, the NBA, golf, I mean, the World Olympics. That demographic dominates in the athletic field, and they're going to be put at a disadvantage if we make them learn how to swim first. And that's not a gouge at the black community not being able to swim, but fuck me, you should not be able to join the Navy without being able to goddamn swim. I mean, we had these groups of people, we call them sinkers, because of the bunch of black kids that just went right to the bottom. And, well, people don't have those resources. Okay, well, in Lemoore, where we had all these ACFLs, which I was one to help teach these people to do it. So, yeah, I told you, just raise the standard, good God. And like I mentioned, they're trying to make it a more family-oriented thing, institution. Well, stop letting a dude get married to a stripper after he knocks her up in a one-night stand. Which, I mean, okay, guilty as charged. I was only seeing Olivia for about 3 months when she got pregnant with Alaric, and didn't marry her because she had health insurance, which I definitely would have. I mean, I definitely would have done it also, but been together 5 years, and this wasn't just a total whoopsie. But just stop letting the 18-year-olds get married to their high school sweetheart to avoid living in the barracks. And all these things. You get rid of people being able to make horrible choices and bad decisions and having a reward for it. Just say, hey, TRICARE ain't going to pay for your pregnancies or your births anymore. Watch the accidental pregnancies fall to zero. I was also 33 when Alaric was born. I was very careful, but I had a few too many drinks one night, and now I have Alaric, and now I have Tyrion, the cutest little guys on the planet. So we're gonna need to stop rigging and tampering with advancement exam results. Stop right from the recruiting office. You need to raise the standard. Stop front loading with the minority demographic. 25% of the people that join the Navy are not in 1 year later or something. The statistics there is like, I mean, it's billions of taxpayer dollars. Jesus Christ, just raise the goddamn standard. The military is just a joke. And, it's not a family environment. I mean, there's absolutely no reason to, so many people are getting burned trying to pick up the dead weight of the single mother and blah, blah, blah. I mean, no more a girl getting pregnant to avoid sea duty and then going limdo to have her kid and getting out with full disability and all this and shotgun promoting to first class because, there's other women out on a boat doing what they're supposed to do, doing their sea time, but they got to pick up this other chick's dead weight because, well, it's just easier just to have a kid and I'll just get out with my full disability and my full GI Bill and all that, and it's absolutely freaking absurd. There's absolutely no repercussions for just abusing the system. And again, CMC Stedding said, well, that's not that big of a problem. Yeah, that's a pretty big fucking problem. That's a really big fucking problem. And it's, well, that's onesie twosie. It's not really, doesn't happen that often. It doesn't matter. Again, it's that little problem. Low recruiting standard. People getting married to avoid living in the barracks because it's easier. Women hooking up with these guys in the military because they just see it as a free ride. And yes, the barracks bunnies, and it's pretty freaking bad. And I don't understand how the benchmark of rights has become what you're allowed to do. We should be able to join the military. Okay, well, I should get a lower standard, though. No, I'm telling you right now, I said women should not be police officers. Women in general should not be allowed in the military. My mother will tell you that. She said women have no business being in charge of young men. None whatsoever, which is funny because I'm doing a contract job for a couple of Navy retirees, and the wife was in the Navy also, and it's just like, God, you got no business being there. Basically jobs got simplified and really stupid, and they got dumbed down to where anybody can physically do it. On a ship, every boat in the military, every ship, every boat, you are also a firefighter. Olivia told me, she's like, what do you know about firefighting? Like, fuck me, dude. I was the one Fox damage locker hose team leader when we came out of the shipyard. What do you mean, what do I know about fighting goddamn fires? And of course, we got the spindly girls that have no business being there. They can't back me up. They can't help. And the firefighting equipment, well, we have to have smalls for the smaller people. No, I can wear baggy equipment and heavier equipment. We got this dude 6'2" in a small. His goddamn pants came up to here. No, we don't need a diverse size and firefighting equipment. We need firefighting equipment. We need the right sizes for your hose teams, which, I'm not a big guy, but I was below average on the size of a hose team, because, you got to be the first ones in. Of course, we got this bimbo that wants to be on a hose team. Okay, great, but you're just a liability. You got no business being there. Again, low standard is just there to make sure that, we're so diverse. Wow, look at us. We're so fucking great and all this shit. And and you get the females in charge, and good God, I wanted to, oh my God, my chief. Okay, Chief Turex. I liked her just fine. Good as a person. Me and her got along as long as we were on the ship, but she was so overbearing and had to be so extra to be in charge. Like, well, you don't got to do that. And she's not the only one. There was lots of them. Almastika, and great person. I sat and ate chow with her a few times, and we were totally cool. But good God, she was unbearable as a sailor, just unbearable. We just can't keep going like this. I'm telling you, your average sailor in the Russian military could just walk onto a carrier and just take it over immediately. The security forces would just have no chance. So raise your standard, get rid of women. And like I said, I'm going to ruffle some feathers here. And you know what? I could give a shit because this isn't misogynistic. Okay, my own mother has said this. Stop it with keeping your demographics even and making sure underopportuned minorities have job opportunity. It was great. We enlisted people from other countries and from Africa and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's great, but you don't load your military with people from other countries because where are their loyalties? There was Zen and Zhao were Chinese spies. Whoever would have thought two dudes from China named whatever Zen and Zhao or whatever, very, very Chinese names, obviously, Well, there was one dude who was absolute sweetheart. He was from China, and I mean, he was a hard worker. You know, people come from other countries, they generally work really hard because they appreciate the opportunity. You know, the guys from Africa were just absolute sweetheart, really nice guys. Like, I really didn't have a bad interaction with any of them. But we can't keep going like this. We can't have 2% of the people doing 90% of the work, and nobody in the military is even learning anything. People are coming out with no job skills, so they have to have this very robust GI Bill and stuff. I mean, that's not really a reward for joining. It's more compensation, if that makes sense. Like, oh, well, shit, you join. Yeah, you get free college money. Well, you're going to need it because you're not getting a goddamn job skill. You know, I had buddies telling me, like, oh, I'd have done just as good as you if I didn't join the military. It's like, really? You're getting $3,000 a month in full disability, and you have no job skill that could have done anything even close to what I did. You know, I mean, I worked on drilling rigs, building cars and blah, 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 and all this shit. That's why I start my channel with a word of the not so wise, because I've done a lot of shit, and I hope to pass this stuff on to my kids. But it's like, well, yeah, you have nothing. Like, the military didn't teach you anything. They taught you the very fucking basics, and your chiefs and your first classes, they didn't know jack dick. So you're getting out with no job skills. So it's okay, we'll go to school, and people like, oh, well, I'm going to take one class in San Francisco, so I get $4,000 a month in BAH, but I'm going to live here in wherever. So, you know, and it's just defrauding the system, which, I mean, which is fine. I kind of don't really give a shit, but, oh, damn it. What am I missing? I'm missing a lot of things. I got my notes over here, and I've pretty much covered it, but I know I'm missing things. But yeah, I want to see an investigation into how they're grading the advancement exams. You know, I was just like, how the hell did this sailor get the EP, early promotion eval, but I'm over here and I didn't? He's like, well, you can't really hate on her for playing the game and doing a better job of it than you. It's like, she's fucking worthless. I mean, you shouldn't be able to just get quals and all this shit and out of rate stuff in lieu of actually doing any work. But, you know, they do. And it's like, well, I'm not hating on her. I'm calling her out on being a piece of shit. You know, dumb as a goddamn brick, and, you know, the list goes on. So, but it's that way so the betas can still stick around and be helpful. And, you know, I say the apex, you know, the standard's been lowered so the apex male doesn't choke out your victim and minority classes. I said apex male. The alpha male, I did not say white male. You know, we can have apex and alpha females. I mean, I serve with some badass chicks that I will absolutely take with me long before a lot of the guys. But for the most part, we could just do without. I mean, it causes more problems than it's worth. They retrofitted a submarine so it had female berthings, and it cost like $4 billion. Like, I mean, fucking why? The dude I just mentioned that I'm remodeling his house, he was like, they sent me, we have 5 officer quarters, 10 officers, so, you know, they work opposite shifts. And who's going to share with the woman? Well, it doesn't matter. Figure it out. It's like, well, send me 2 or send me 0, because they need to house together. So, and this fucking dipshit, oh, goddamn, I'm not going to name her name, but she thought I had a problem with her for being a female. It's like, well, no, I have a problem with you because you're a runt and you got no business being here. And, you know, she was a victim worshiper and a social victim, and she said, well, yeah, people should be able to be transgender and in the military and stuff. I said, okay, so they're going to stay with you? Well, no, they're going to stay with the guys. Like, oh, you're so virtuous and socially just at my inconvenience and my pain in the ass. You know, you don't want to inconvenience yourself. You're inconveniencing other people and giving yourself a pat on the back. Wow, I'm such a good person. And it's just like, God damn it. I even said when they had the drag show on the quarterdeck of the goddamn carrier during working hours, I said, this is disgusting. Well, you need to keep those opinions to yourself. Oh, he can he can just faggot as much as he wants, and I can't say, hey, this isn't the time or place, and I need to keep my opinion to myself. But you'll set up a stage for this guy to prance around like an idiot. And he was a good dude. Like, I didn't have a problem with him personally, but it's like, dude, why do I have to keep to myself, but you can just be as big of a flamer as you want? Dude, we got nothing for you. He ended up getting out as for depression or something. Yeah, so just to recap, raise the standard, fix your recruiting, or your promotion standards. You know, it's not all about just servicing the victim. You know, when you join the military, you will adapt to the military. The military should not adapt to society, which came up when the transgender thing came up. Like, oh yeah, come on in. They're 40% more likely to attempt or commit suicide. Me as a veteran, I am 30 to 40% more likely to attempt or commit suicide. Like, why are these people with these mental health issues the point of the sword, and just so, oh, we got to have them so bad, we need to change the whole standard, and the whole military should adapt to them. You know, as soon as you came out and said, oh, well, people can, you know, wear their yarmulke or grow their religious beard, which I don't think has happened yet. As soon as that genie was let out of the bottle and people were allowed to have their individual thing in uniform and so forth, it was lost, because everybody needs some individual treatment. It never should have been allowed. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on military standards. And I mean, something's got to change there real bad. You know, like, I'd tell my sons, like, you know, when you're on an online job application, you're white. If you're getting a job, government job, you're black. You know, I wish I would have put, if you join the military, do not put on that or on your paperwork that you're white. Put down that you're Native American. They will not check. I wish I'd have put down Native Alaskan, because I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm Native Alaskan. I was born and raised in Alaska. It makes me Native Alaskan. And there was, when I was filling out job applications before I got out, they said, what's your demographic? And if you checked the Native Alaskan box, there was a paragraph this long. The length of my phone said, what can you provide proof of what Native tribe you're registered with, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, I mean, that's kind of discrimination, right? So we've gone full circle there. Just, you know, well, we're so anti-discrimination, we'll discriminate against the majority to show it. You know, I mean, the Navy is, I mean, what is it? The country's 60% white people and 12% black people, but they make up like half the military. And guess who gets kicked out in their first few years? It's the black kids. You know, and it's not because they're being treated unfairly. There's plenty of black leadership. And the Chief Span, oh man, he was hard on this sailor, because he was a dipshit, and he was just like, dude, you gotta don't act like this. This is not okay. And me and Chief Span had talk like this overnight when I was on watch, and he was just like, yeah, this is not acceptable. And I should hit him up. He was pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't cover everything, but I tried. So yeah, I mean, if you got questions about joining the military, definitely let me know. I would not encourage anybody to do so. I got one more thing. My buddy whose boat I helped build not this year, but 2022, I helped him build his super picker, identical to the one I built earlier this year. And he's like, oh, I think my son's joined the military and so on and so forth. I'm like, yeah, cool. But like I said, don't put that you're white down on the paperwork. And I said, go to college, take out the student loans, join as an officer, which should not be allowed. God damn it, there's another thing. You should not be allowed to just go straight in as an officer. We have way too many people regulating jobs that they've never done. You know, we got usually girls go straight to shore duty, shotgun promote to second class. I mean, I had a girl when I was on shore duty, first time up to third, first time up to second, and out promoted me by one rotation. I'd been in for 5-ish years at the time, going straight to shore duty, not being on a ship, and she was supposed to go to a ship and faked an injury and complained about it just because she's hearing about how shitty a ship was. Like, you're going as a second class, but she didn't put the rank on because she was fat. But no more of that dumb shit. No more dodging your duties and getting to out promote people, and your rating, your job rating. Like, oh, okay, oh yeah, I made first class in 2.5, 3 years. Like, how? That's mathematically not possible. Well, you're a minority chick, so the thing was rigged in your advantage, and we know that's what's going on. So, choose your rate, choose your fate. Well, I mean, why in God's name are you able to make first class in 5 years, but another rate you can't even pick up third class till 6 years or 7 years? So you're being outranked by somebody because they're a minority, because they've gotten privilege, enlistment, and promotion, and they don't actually have to do any freaking work. So there's absolutely no way you should be able to make these high ranks in a short period of time. But like I said, go straight officer. I know I said you shouldn't be allowed to, but you go from the recruiting office and you say, hey, the GI Bill will retro pay your student loans and stuff. So do that. Or if you want to go into special programs, okay, you go in with a degree, go enlisted, go be a SEAL, go be EOD, do that cool shit. If you wash out, the option is to go officer and have a way better life and way better treatment. And we over Christmas, the Christmas PRT, we lost like 9 people from the galley. So instead of closing the chief's mess and the wardroom, they said, well, you guys can just work every day over Christmas break. Like, what? Why? For duty, we make enough food to feed 100 chiefs, and there's only 12 of them on duty, and we throw the rest of the food away. We'll close the wardroom and make everybody eat in the aft galley. We're undermanned here, but don't you officers be inconvenienced, though. Oh, no, fucker, no. God forbid, the officers should have to, be in the same boat as the rest of us. So that shit pissed me off. And there's more, but goddamn, I could go on for days about all the shit about being in the military that was just a fucking joke. So anyway, I think that's got it. Goddamn, I know I got off track here, but anyway, thank you for joining me. Share my videos. I think my videos have gotten no shares on Facebook. I mean, I've got about 1,300 views. I think this is my 62nd video. Let me know what you think. I've gotten some really good constructive criticism and comments in the thread. I'd love for it to keep going that way. If you got something to say it. I have no interest in really arguing, or I don't mean to attack people here, but you know what? You're fucking dead weight. So, yeah, keep your stick on the ice. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for joining me.